Hello, my friends. This is Brian Q. Davis broadcasting from the Sales Warrior Podcast, a conversation about dominating your marketplace without sacrificing your body, your marriage, your children, or your soul. And today's topic is this: the 2 ingredients for target lock. Sit back and relax, and let's get started. So if you grew up like I did in the 80s, you remember probably, at least if you're a male, 2 movies that undoubtedly made a mark on you. Number 1, Top Gun. We can't ignore that, of course. The second one, Iron Eagle. Remember that? Both of these movies came out. They're Cold War era movies. There's jets, there's pilots, there's masculinity, there's awesomeness, there are people getting shot out of the sky, there is an amazing soundtrack, there is all this incredible movie making, and there is one thing that both of these movies shared. There's actually a bunch of things that both these movies shared, but there's one thing that was prior to those movies had not been incepted into the collective consciousness of the world, much less America, which was the following thing: the idea of the missile lock. Remember that? Remember this idea of the do, like I've got good tone, firing. That whole idea, it didn't exist before those movies. Now I could be wrong, but at least in my consciousness, I had never seen that. That was like a new thing. And it was this really cool idea for a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old, right? It's just cool. And so as I was going through a process over the last week or so in developing some new targets for myself and my family and business and things like that, I realized that one of the things that has often been missing in the last couple of quarters from some of my targets has been missile lock. And there's 2 characteristics that I was informed of by a great, powerful conversation with a friend of mine, Jason Keeler, that have to be present for there to be missile lock, for you to have good tone on a target. Now, hopefully right now, as you are looking down the back part of this year, this last 3 months, this last quarter, I hope that you're able to take some time and get clear and get excited about some targets for yourself. Perhaps some targets in your body, some targets in your relationships, some targets in your relationships with God, some targets in your business, and obviously targets with your sales game. But what are the 2 pieces of missile lock on a target? Number 1, it has to be clear, right? You have to see the target that you're shooting at. You have to see clearly exactly what the thing is. It has to be well-defined. It has to be quantifiable. It has to be measurable. It has to be binary. The enemy bogey is there or it's not, right? I'm clear on what the thing is. I'm clear that I'm going to do 30 workouts this quarter, right? 30. In fact, that's part of one of my challenges is I'm gonna do 30 workouts of a very particular workout called My 600 Rep Life from a trainer of mine who's gone to heaven. His name's Terrence Mitchell. He gave me these trainings. That's part of my target for this quarter. God rest his soul. But I'm very clear. 30 of those types of workouts. That's clear. But the other part of target lock is not only the clarity, but the excitement, right? So there's the clarity of the target and the reticle, but then there's the good tone, right? Now, a lot of times we can have targets, but if we don't have tone, we don't have excitement, we're not going to do what it takes to get that target. It doesn't drive us. There's no passion behind it. And I had this question asked of me by my friend, and he said, which one of these targets excites you? And I realized, whoa, there's some targets here that I had written down as possibilities that were clear, but they didn't excite me. And so there was no good tone on the target. And so my question for you right now is you're thinking about, and hopefully you're taking some time, and if you haven't taken some time, you'll use this podcast as a catalyst to carve out some time for yourself over the next couple days to get clear about what are some targets that you can be clear about and you can be certain about in terms of the measurable, quantifiable nature of them, but also excite you. Also create some fire in your belly. Also get you excited to kind of do whatever it takes. Hit the afterburner, pull the maneuver, do some type of impossible maneuver to pull off, but it excites you. The idea of that missile lock excites you. Where right now in your world do you need to get missile lock? Or perhaps right now there's some area in your world where there's not even a bogey on the screen. You don't even have a target. You have no target or future idea of where you want to go in your body. You have no target or future idea of where you want to take your marriage. You have no target or future idea of what your relationship with God might be like or could be. And maybe you haven't even thought about, like, what do you want to do in production and business in the next 3 months or maybe the next 12? You could write down a number, but if the number doesn't excite you, you don't have missile lock. And what would be possible if you locked on to 4 targets or just one really powerful target? Maybe you don't need 4. Just one really powerful, clear, exciting target for the next 3 months, whatever time you're getting this podcast. And if you put all your effort into hitting that one target, what might be on the other side of that for you? That's what I got for you today, my friends. I know the podcast has been on pause a little bit this year, but we're going to be back in the game. Thank you for tuning in. If you feel like you got value out of this conversation about how to lock targets, share this up with somebody you feel like might get value. Take the link, pass it along, and keep tuning in. If you want to go deeper into the topics of this particular podcast and what we talk about here, go to thesaleswar.com. You can sign up, get connected there. We've got courses, we've got other things, we've got some events that are going to be happening in the coming months. Get connected, find me on social media, and I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, this is Brian Q. Davis signing off from the Sales Warrior Podcast, a conversation about dominating your marketplace without sacrificing your body, your marriage, your children, or your soul. More to come.